This is an ABP Live Podcast.
Hello everyone, you're listening to Cracking Conversations on ABP Live Podcasts, and in this podcast we talk to people from different worlds, we talk to people from different fields and create some good meaningful conversations. And as we all know, love is in the air. February का महीना शुरू हो चुका है, Valentine's week चल रहा है. So I'm sure that a lot of people are out there who are really, have confusions around the entire concept of love, whether or not they'll be able to move on from their ex, whether or not they will be able to find love in 2023. So answer आपके सारे questions का आपको आज मिलेगा इस episode में, because today we have a very, very special guest on Cracking Conversations, Mrs. Sneha Jain. She is a tarot card reader and a Reiki healer, and वो आपको बताएंगी आपके सारे questions के answers as far as love is concerned, because of course Valentine's week है, love की बात नहीं करेंगे तो हम किस बारे में बात करेंगे. So ma'am, very, very welcome to ABP Live Podcasts.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Same here. Pleasure's all mine. So this entire concept of astrology, Reiki, tarot card reading, ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा mythical concept है. For a lot of people, they have a lot of myths, they have a lot of doubts, and उनको बहुत ना जैसे ये fantastical चीज़ लगती है कि पता नहीं real भी है या नहीं, is it all magic, is it all planned. So as an expert of the field, I would really like to clear all the kind of myths that are around this concept and tell us a little about your experience of how you started and क्या है exactly entire concept.
So first of all, I would say that where there is magic, there is being, and where there is living, there is hope, there is faith. So the concept of tarot, the concept of energy, the concept of this field really tells us a lot about the living being. It is practically accepted and scientifically accepted कि ये energies होती हैं और ये last करती हैं एक human being पे. आपने usually ये ऐसा देखा होगा that people who are following a very practical and a skeptical lifetime, and they've been very practical all their life, once they get to a point where there is a breakthrough or there is a problem in their life, they come to us.
Right.
There are thousands of people who we deal with every now and then who are very practical, and they would say आप जो बोल रहे हैं, I'm not sure how practical it is,
right.
But then they would come back to us and tell us that it happened, So all this is very absorbed in our world and very diligently put up.
Right.
So I would say that yes, this is something which people understand with time and with understanding, but this is not something which will appear to everybody in a spot.
Right,
I think you need time and understanding to
and
have
also
that.
experience, I would feel,
Experience,
because as long as someone is not there with you and जब तक वो ये चीज़ में indulge नहीं कर रहे हैं, I don't think कि उन्हें वो reality strike करेगी behind the entire concept.
Absolutely true. Until and unless you don't feel it, you don't get the vibe.
Exactly. It's all a matter of the fact that उन्होंने खुद भी अपने लिए personally उस चीज़ को देख लिया होते हुए, तो that is what brings the faith in it.
That's absolutely right.
So Sneha ji, how did you get into this entire field of Reiki and tarots? How did this happen?
Okay, so I have always been a very practical person. In my background, there was nothing which was dur se dur tak in this field. I am a master's in biotechnology. I did a lot of research work. I was associated with DRDO for research. But then out of my hobby, out of my curiosity in this field, I started taking this as my primary work, and then I opted this full time. So this was a journey from being very scientific to be mystical.
Right.
But this is absolutely a delight, It's an awakening. I've been doing this since a very young age. I was in class 9 when I started this.
Wow.
And now it's been like a 17-year journey that I've taken with this particular deck. And this one has been with me all through. So this was not even available in India when I started all this. And there was one aunt of mine who gifted this to me. So since that day, this journey in occult and this interest in occult raised, and I was always searching the web. I was doing every possible thing to learn what this is.
Right.
And ultimately, after my grandfather used to push me that padho, PhD karo, I did it halfway and I left it, and then I wanted to do this full time.
Right.
So this is how the journey began, and it has been a beautiful one. And I am not at all regretting my
change of field
and my practicality coming down to this.
Okay, so जैसे कि हमने स्टार्टिंग में बात की, ये कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स है that are very, you know, people have a lot of questions around it.
Yeah.
So as far as tarot card reading, जो कि आपकी expertise है, can you tell us a little about it, that how does this exactly work?
Okay, so when we talk about simple astrology or simple numerology, these are all based on calculation. Tarot is rather based on energy. This is an energy reading that we do. So if I'm reading your tarot cards, I'm basically not even just telling you about the calculative result of it. I'm also popping in your energy. I'm seeing your aura. I'm trying to analyze and calculate on the basis of your energies.
Right.
So it is not just based on my date of birth calculations or name calculation. It is energy calculation. So I cannot read for anybody who I have not seen. So I have to have a picture of somebody. If you want me to read for your mother or your
Right.
brother, you have to present me a picture of them, and then I energy read them through the cards. So the cards are different from astrological kundalis and all this numerological thing. Why? Because they present an energy circle, and they can even tell you what the person is feeling or what is around the situation, what is the energy around it. So
Right.
it is very deep, and it can answer questions that are mostly unknown and that need to be discovered more on the astrological or numerological backgrounds.
Okay, that is great. So would you like to share with us any particular incident या कोई एक memorable चीज़ or a memorable case where maybe someone really got a breakthrough through your tarot reading, or someone really found a change in their life through this?
Sure. So there was this girl who was extremely exhausted in her past relationships. There are most people nowadays who have been suffering with relationship problems, with love issues, with issues with their partners and all that. So this woman was very exhausted over there, and she had a turmoil kind of situations, like patterns repeating for her. So, and she was in love with a guy who was extremely dishonest and irresponsible and did not reciprocate well to her. So
That's I would say the scene for a lot of people out there. The entire concept of toxicity getting into
Toxicity
relationships
and
that we talked
friend
about.
zoning.
Friend zoning, exactly.
Absolutely. So this girl approached me, and initially I had to counsel her and take her through. Then we gave her a lot of Reiki and try to heal her soul out of it. And then I found out during my Reiki sessions that the boy was actually also suffering from his childhood. So he had some childhood issues. Because of that, I think he had this toxicity against women because he had some issues with his mother. So this led me to healing the boy also. So when we did this therapy of healing the both of them, now their Roka was last week, and now they're getting married on the 18th of February. So this is something like a magical story. It still gives me goosebumps how I worked on her for two and a half years now. And this girl is up in the clouds now, and she's very happy with this.
That
So
is
this is what
amazing.
it is.
So now that she found the love of her life, let's straight away jump to the chase that we began this entire conversation with. So Valentine's week aa raha hai, and a lot of people have all of these questions around love, whether or not they'll find love in 2023. So as someone who has an idea and who can calculate such things, I would really like agar aap hamari audience ke sath share kare that how is going to be love for all these zodiac signs in the coming year, and what are the do's and don'ts for all these zodiac signs, that how they can approach love and how they should go ahead with it.
Okay, sure. So before jumping onto that, can I just share in general about 23?
Absolutely,
of how this year
absolutely.
Okay. So talking about 2023 and generally how the year would be for people, I think this is an year of using our heart more, because this is the year which sums up to 7. To 2023 sums up to 7, which means it is the part of the Ketu. The Ketu is a planet which will give us more intense reciprocation of our karmas. So that means the reciprocation can be good reciprocation or bad reciprocation depending on your karmas. Now, there's no need to be afraid of Ketu. There's no need to be afraid of the energy of Ketu, because Ketu is something that works from heart. It is more of serene, it is more of energy, it is more of spiritual. So Ketu will always define what you deserve. It will give what you deserve. While 2020 was the year of Rahu, we saw what COVID did in 2020.
Absolutely.
I think karmic backdrops are there which can be seen in relationship front, specifically in this year. This year would also lead to a lot of decisions from heart. So you might just come up with a decision and think कि मैंने कैसे ले लिया? How did I even do it? Because it is all from the heart. Your head is not
Taking a
functioning
back
well
seat
this
for the
year.
file.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For this year, I think the head has to be just
A part of the
manipulated,
background, and the heart has to
and
be
the heart has
in the
to
front.
now be on the front. So
Right.
I think you have to trigger yourself and not make emotional decisions, because this year you can swipe through the emotional decisions and make the wrong call. Okay, so if there's any major decision and if you feel that you've been grasped by it, or you feel that you are doing the wrong thing, you should step back and think. Okay, step back and think and then make decisions. Make sure that you're discussing with some elderly people, because elderly guidance is something which is a very important thing that should be done this year.
Right. Okay. So that is an understanding for all of the people out there, so that they can take more rational decisions and don't get worked up with their emotions, and think practically and then go ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now we go ahead with the sun signs.
Absolutely. So let's start with Aries.
So my dear Aries, what is the do's and the don'ts? So my dear Aries, what are the do's and the don'ts for the year 2023 for you? You've been waiting, and you've been waiting long time, Aries. I know that this love that you want, this integrity that you want, because you are more about emotions, you are more about getting that feel. And this feel has to wait till the mid of the year. So this mid of the year, I believe that, things can move slow. They are still moving, but I will say that you have to take decisions with your head and delay decisions at least till the mid of the year. If they make any fast decisions, that is going to impact them very badly, and they can have childish decisions as well. So I would say that the Aries have to be a little calculative over there. Make sure you're high on the spirituality and high on spiritual energies this year. They have to make sure that they practice some kind of spiritual activities in order to gain the frame of love, because I know that that is something that you need. Praying to Lord Shiva, doing something related to heart chakra meditation can really help you and benefit you whenever you are feeling low this year.
Okay, so that was for Aries. So now let's jump to Taurus. For all the Taurians out there, this is what love has in store for you for 2023.
Okay, so now we are talking about the Taurus. The Taurus are a little imbalanced, and I know that they've always been like that, because emotionally the Taurians are a little low on energies, and they really need support from time to time. So these Taurus are trusting people again with all their heart and all their head, and they are getting baffled. So in my opinion, you should just try to balance yourself a little bit more, dear Taurus, because the balance is something that is needed this year. I think if you try to talk to people more and try to have good conversations, good hearty conversations with people, that will really help to elevate the whole process, to elevate the process of love. I feel there can be some toxic relationships that can come to an end. So it is important for you to do the right thing and not let the heart come in between, not let the toxic people still rule you. If there's something which is coming to an end, make it happen, make it come to an end, and start fresh, because the opposite sex is really getting attracted to you in the second half.
Okay.
So now we come to the next sign.
Yeah, Gemini.
Okay, so the Gemini, what is in store for you? The Geminis are ruling the love, I think, and it's only one thing that you have to take care of, and that is fear. Okay, the Geminis usually think twice before doing anything, and that is something which can distract you. Okay, so if you've got options, it's good to think of options, and it's good to have options in such scenarios. You're having options, but it is important for you to be mindful and to be harmonious in your relationships. One thing that is a big do is doing the right thing and making a commitment happen, because this year is extremely beautiful for commitments. So the right thing to do is getting onto a commitment and finding yourself a partner, because there is a green tick. It's going to be absolutely amazing this year.
Wow, so I think that is the best reading I've heard till date, because Gemini really can find good love and commitment this year. So all the Geminis out there, definitely give love a chance this year.
Yeah.
So the next one is Cancer.
Cancer. So let's talk about the Cancerians. The Cancerians are basically on a roll. You've got ups and downs throughout the year. Make sure that your love interest is not getting irritated, this year, because a lot of hampering and hammering on their heads can make them agitated and irritated, which is something that has to be taken care of, and it's the big no this year. The other thing is that you have to make sure that you surprise the partner, because they want pampering, they want attention, they want love, and this up and down can go then, this up and down can get into the right frame if you pardon their attention and if you give them attention.
Right.
So this is going to be a good year. You just have to make sure that you don't agitate your better half.
Okay. So next one, let's jump to Leo now.
Okay. So now talking about Leos, the do's and the don'ts for the year 2023. My darling Leos are at peace. They're only doing one thing, that is they're holding on to things. So there's something from the past that they are not forgiving and forgetting, and that is the worst thing to do in love relationships. If there's anything from the past that your partner has done and you want to get over it, you should get over it. No, don't keep thinking about them. Don't keep blaming them for this, because this creates like a vicious circle, okay? And this is something that can really make things little worse on the love front. So if you forgive and forget, that is the only way out of your traumas and have healing effects. So healing can come and positivity can come if you let go whatever past was there and make peace with it. The other thing is that you have to travel with your partner this year, because traveling is something that, doing things on the travel and having fun is something that the Leos really, really like. They're enthusiastic about it. So if you get into those terms with your partner, I am sure that the year is gonna swipe up really well for you.
That is great. That's a good news for Leos, and I think moving on is something that a lot of people really need to do at multiple levels. And I think if Leos do that, they will definitely benefit from it.
Absolutely.
The next one in the list is, of course, Virgo.
The Virgos. Okay. So the Virgos are doing their hard work, finding love, finding peace, finding time quality. But the doors that you are trying to knock, dear Virgos, are not going to open really soon. So you're just going to try for people who are not approachable, or try for people who are not even giving you a little bow, okay? So that is something that you need to really move on from, dear Virgos, and have a new beginning, because the doors that are not opening might not open for a very long time now. And the doors which are over there, they're standing right there open, bright light from them, and you are not paying attention. So that is something that you have to work upon, pass through the doors that are there, available, open, and learn from the doors that are closed. You need to learn some more things to make them open, I believe.
So the next one is Libra.
The Libras are here to have fun this year, okay? There's nothing about commitment. You just want to gel along, party, have fun. And I think that is something that's not your way of doing things. But honestly, I think this year, your relationships can face a little fearful situation. So you can be around some drastic shifts or some nasty things on the relationship. Some people can try to manipulate or use you. So you have to just make sure that you're abandoned from those people. Okay? If you have a partner, make sure that you don't argue in the face. You should just stay clear of at least that situation, and then you can talk about things later. Giving it a time out is something which is really important this year. And things can move around the end of the year, so I would just say tell you to have a little slow approach to things, and make sure that you are pleasing your partner by gifting them something red, okay? So if you keep gifting them something red, this tangent, this negativity will then swipe out.
Wear off. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Scorpios are next in line.
So the Scorpios have done their homework, okay? They've tried to find the right person for themselves, and this is something like a great blessing. This is a great time to make any major decisions. शादी हो सकती है, girlfriend बहुत अच्छे से impress हो सकती है. You can have commitment, you can have positivity, you can have everything that you need. So I believe that this time is a time of harvesting, and if you do the right thing, if you do it the right way, I'm sure that positivity is on grounds and it is going to happen for good. So I think there's nothing that is to do. I think what you're doing is right, and you just keep doing that.
Next one in line are Sagittarians.
Sagittarius, how is 2023 gonna treat you on love? Ouch, Sagittarius. I think there's some kind of heartbreak that's coming initially, and that is something which can create a problem. Yeah. And I think trusting people, again, trusting the wrong people again, Sagittarius. And that's not something that I really appreciate. I would say that you should count upon people who are actually nice and who actually are presenting love to you, you know.
Right.
Maybe guard yourself well against this, because this is something which can really make you drone. So finding love in the places where it is not there can be hard, but I am sure that positivity is coming, because a surprise partner is coming your way. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So there can be somebody who is coming out of nowhere, like a romantic relationship, and can hit on you, and this is something which is gonna elevate a lot of things and give you a universal manifestation. The two do's are open your gates. Okay. The two do would be communicate well. The two do would be make sure that you are receptive towards people.
Right.
And if you are not trusting somebody, the major don't is not giving them your secrets, not giving them your integrity, because that can be used against you this year. So make sure that you are, you know, moving on and moving forward, but little steps at a time.
So some surprise is going to hit on you. I hope he or she does hit on you so that you can actually be together in the future.
Yeah. So now we talk about Capricorn and how it is gonna be for you. So Capricorns, I think this is, you know, this year you're gonna find love. I'm sure the love is coming. I know it is coming a little slow, but there is a soulmate card that tells me that yes, love is there. You can have a childlike approach to things. You can have an immature, because Capricorns are very immature in love. They are not expressive. They don't know what to do. My husband is a Capricorn. So I would
Then
say,
you have first-hand experience.
which is why I'm telling this. So this thing is something which is always hidden in them, but they love from the core. I know that. So this is something which is going to be a good year for you and a reciprocative year for you. I only want you to make choices on the right angle. Make sure that you are self-loving yourself first, because that is something that you lack this year, you know. You might just lose your confidence and feel all over the place. I don't want you to do that, because self-love is the integrity of a complete love manifestation, right?
Exactly.
So I think it starts from yourself, and the major to do is to love yourself, and the other things will fall into place eventually.
I think that's also a very universal thing, because a lot of people look for validation in the form of love from outside their own selves, but it only comes from within. And as long as you are confident about yourself, you know that you are in the right, other things will follow automatically.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's jump to Aquarius.
So we now come to Aquarius for 2023. How is it gonna be for you? So the Aquarius are somewhere in the middle of things, trying to recenter yourself and try to focus on the right and the wrong and make some decisions. I believe that you are centric to yourself and thinking about your needs, but not your partner's need, and that is something which is droning your partner and creating a vicious circle of energy and negativity in your relationships this year. So it is important for you to pay attention to them. Seek what they say, you know. You have to pay attention to them and not prioritize other things, because if you prioritize other things, I think that can collapse the whole foundation of your relationship. So prioritization would be one major do this year, and this is something that can lead to harmony. The second half will be accomplished and well, but the first half can create turbulence because of this prioritization issues, or your partner may even doubt you. So it is important for you to even keep them in a protective space of energy and make them ensure that yes, I am there with you, and I feel for you, I love you. That is one thing that you need to
the reassurance that they require.
That's it. And your year will be made.
Lovely. So now we are down to the last sign, that is Pisces.
Okay.
Let's see what is there for all the Pisces people out there.
Okay, so the Pisces, let's talk about you for 2023. So the Pisces, I know that you've been quite flirtatious and you've been hitting on people, as they say, and you've been talking to a lot of people, maybe tindering a lot or whatever. But this is something which is going to get you the right way. Okay, so you might be just suffered in your emotional substance, and you might be feeling very drawn with energy, which is why you want to communicate and know things from people, share things with people. But this year, I think the hitting on people can get you to the right place and can get you to the right partner where there is a new beginning. So the playfulness that is in your nature, Pisces, gets you to the new beginnings. So the do's can be, do approach people, be open to relationships, and try to understand your partner well. People who are committed and in a marriage, you just have to communicate well with the partner, because that
Right.
can create a good base of things. Don't tell them things that 5 saal pehle aisa hua, so now I'm bringing this up to you, because Pisces
Right,
is up to
right.
that all the time. So I want you to understand the logic behind things. Don't make layers of discomfort. I want you to unwrap them, have an understanding, have a clear communication, and that can get you through this year.
Right. So basically, not going to the past and focusing on the present.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. So that was the love predictions and the do's and don'ts for all the zodiac signs for 2023. I hope that you guys actually internalize all of these do's and don'ts and understand where it is coming from, and it is coming from a verified source. So definitely go into everything that Sneha ji suggested, and hopefully you guys will find love this year, and hopefully I will too, fingers crossed. Apparently I'm supposed to find love in the second half, so wherever my soulmate is, please aa jao, I am waiting. But thank you so much, Sneha ji, for joining me today and for talking about these things, because there are people who have a lot of questions around such things. They have a lot of doubts there and they do not believe in it. But the fact that you are here talking about it as an expert is a perfect example of the fact that yes, these energies exist and they should be respected and they should be understood. So thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for
Niharika.
sharing these predictions for all the people out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me on board. And I hope I was helpful to everybody who is listening this.
Absolutely, I'm very sure that you were. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
very
me today.
much. Thank you.
This is an ABP Live Podcast.